Hello guys. So today I'm going to be doing a Leigh Bardugo collection of all the Leigh Bardugo books that I have ever purchased and owned, I guess. So the order of this is going to be a little all over the place, mostly because I have books upstairs and downstairs on my bookshelves, and my Leigh Bardugo collection. I do have like a central shelf where they mostly are, but I have a few others scattered around different parts of the house. So I kind of just grabbed some, and I'm going like floor by floor. So the books I'm going to start out with are the books that are downstairs on my downstairs shelves, and then I will include the ones that are upstairs. It won't make much difference to you because you're just watching this as one whole video. So let's just, enough blabbing. I guess I can quickly say that I've been collecting Leigh Bardugo's books since, I would say Six of Crows came out. My sister read the Grisha trilogy while it was being while it was being published. And she convinced me to read them, and I liked them enough. And then I actually was lucky enough to go to the launch party for Six of Crows the day it came out, and I got to meet Leigh Bardugo. I had an arc of Six of Crows, and I got to meet her, get a first edition, got to get her to sign it. It was all very exciting. It was probably the biggest author meet and greet I'd ever been to. But yeah, so I read those, loved Six of Crows. It was one of my favorite books for the longest time, and it's still up there. I would say it's still in top 10 for sure of my favorite series of all time. I've said this before, but 2015, which is the year it came out, was just an excellent year for me reading-wise. So yeah, I have very fond, special memories of the Six of Crows duology, and ever since reading it, I've just kept reading everything she's written. So since then, I've joined book boxes, and I've just been collecting all of the books she's come out with since then. And so my Leigh Bardugo collection has expanded quite a bit. So I do have a lot to show you here. I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. Hopefully not too long. If it is, then I would suggest getting a drink or, getting cozy, and we'll just get started. So the first books I'm going to show you are the actually recently released Owl Crate special editions of Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. So that is the Six of Crows duology. And I just had to get them as soon as they were announced. Owl Crate also did special editions of the Grisha trilogy, and I did see pictures of those online, and they looked really pretty. But trying to be a little more frugal, I just went for the Six of Crows duology because those are my very favorites. So yeah, so I'll show those now. They're really pretty, excellent editions. So here is the Six of Crows edition from Owl Crate. It's very pretty. It has this like shiny sort of silver embossed foiling. And yeah, there's a wolf in the middle of it, which is, you'll know what character that relates to if you've read the books. You have Ketterdam. Just a really pretty edition. This is what the spine looks like. And then, of course, you have the ravens or what am I saying? You have the crows here, of course. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you sort of know the gist of what Six of Crows is about, but if you don't, it's about 6 outcasts who all are sort of, you know, morally gray characters. They live in the city called Ketterdam, which basically reads like a fantasy Amsterdam, and they're all sort of related to crime in one way or another. And Kaz Brucker is the leader of this crew that comes together to pull off this heist that's going to win them a lot of money. So they're not friends, you know, they don't really know, most of them don't know each other beforehand, but they're sort of forced together in this found family to pull off this heist. And you quickly fall in love with them, and I certainly did. So I would say Inej is probably my favorite character. I remember before the book came out, on Leigh Bardugo's website, you could take a quiz that told you sort of what character you were. Like, you know, not quite a BuzzFeed quiz, but along those lines. And I took it and I got Inej, and that was before I knew who Inej was, of course. And then I read the book and I was like, yes. I related to Inej quite a lot, so she's probably my favorite character, but I love them all. But anyways, with this edition, you have sprayed pages, so you have a wolf going after a crow, which is very symbolic. On the back, you have their slogan sort of is "No mourners, no funerals." Sort of like a phrase of luck between them before they, you know, go out on a job. And if I open, oh, first of all, the art on the stenciled edges is along all 3 corners, which is really cool. It also has a, if you can see that, a ribbon bookmark. And then if I take off the dust jacket, on the cover you have this. This says The Traveler's Guide to, oh, how do you say this? Gerholm and the Ice Court. The Ice Court is a major player in this book, so it's a important location. So this is really pretty foiling. And I really love the font of the title on the spine, Six of Crows. It's really pretty. And then on the back of this, I'll read you this. I'm not sure if I can pronounce it because, again, it's a fictional language, so it might be a rough translation, but I say, it says, Wanden Ulstrom and Kendensorum, Isene Biestrum, which means the water hears and understands, the ice does not forgive. I actually minored in German, so this actually looks a little German. I wonder if it's modeled after like Dutch or something, I'm not sure. But anyways, really pretty edition. And then when you open it, they're in papers. Sort of have a symbol for all the characters here. You have a heart for the heart render. You have a wolf for Matthias. Obviously the crows, a knife for Inej, gambling, guns. And I think it's the same on this side. Yes, same on both sides there. And then the last thing with this copy is the dust jacket art. So you have the characters there. It's basically just a scene from the book. Really pretty. And then lastly, it is also signed by Leigh Bardugo. I believe just the first book is signed in this set, but I could be wrong. We'll see. And then here is Crooked Kingdom from the same set. This is also the Alcrate edition. I love the colors of this one. I'm definitely like a brown, sort of bronzy gold kind of person. So I really like this cover, especially the wolves on it. So this book came out in 2016. I will say, I feel like if you read this duology, usually people prefer one book over the other. I loved Six of Crows. I remember after I read it, I was like, this is a perfect book. Like, I wouldn't change anything. I still really liked Crooked Kingdom. Loved it. Like, still one of my favorite books, but I did not like this one as much as I did Six of Crows. So I do have a favorite, and it is the first book. Color-wise, though, I do love this one. Some things you might notice on this cover, you see Kaz's cane here. You've got a heart, a crow, wolves. And the sprayed pages of this are just the crows over Ketterdam. And the phrase on the back is another sort of iconic phrase from the series, which is, "We never stop fighting." Here is the spine. So on the cover of this one, it just says Ketterdam at the top, and it says A Tourist's Guide. So you just have playing cards, feathers, guns. One of the characters, Jesper, who I love dearly, he has a bit of a gambling problem, so the cards are very important. Here's the spine. Here is the back. And again, this is another iconic, Six of Crows just has a lot of iconic quotes. And this one says, "When you can't beat the odds, change the game." I would say Six of Crows, it's a young adult fantasy duology, but it's one that I would recommend even to adults who like fantasy. I think it holds up. I would not say the same about the Grisha trilogy, but Six of Crows, for sure. And then here is the dust jacket art for this one. Got the characters there. Here are the in papers for this one. This one is not signed as I thought, but it does still have the beautiful maps from the original book. So let's see if I can show the other one. Really, really pretty. Before I move on, I did forget to show you that these books actually have art in the middle, like throughout the books. Not a ton, but like every once in a while. So let me show you an example. So here's two of the characters here. If you know who they are, you know who they are. Sort of iconic. Let's see. Here's another, the whole crew. Yeah, so there's art throughout both Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I won't show the Crooked Kingdom one because I think some of it might be spoilery. I'll just show you the Six of Crows. So yeah, those are the Owl Crate editions. Really pretty, and I'm glad I got them. They go really well together, and I love the art style. And then next I will show you the Litjoy editions of the Six of Crows duology that I also have. These came in like a fancy box. I think I showed a clip of it in the beginning. At least I hope I did. But yeah, let's just get started. These are extremely heavy. I will say Litjoy, I don't get their, I think it's a quarterly box. I'm not sure. I think it's changed since I last took a look at their website. But I do love their special editions. They're always really high quality. So here is Six of Crows. It's very shiny, so I'm not sure what all you can see. Six of Crows, Leigh Bardugo. It's got the cane, Kaz's iconic crow cane. You've got the pistols. Inej's daggers are at the top. Yeah, and this is actually a cutout. So without the dust jacket, this is what it looks like. Got the shiny metal. It's very heavy, as I've stated before. These are what the pages look like. I absolutely love the sprayed pages on these. They're so intricate. You can see Kaz here with his cane. Crows above him. Ketterdam beneath. Really, really pretty, like absolutely stunning page work on this one, I think. And this is the back. It says, "No mourners, no funerals." So pretty. But let's see the end pages. So there's art on the inside of these as well. We have the crew. And then the rest of the characters here, we have Inej and Nina. So stunning. I don't think this has art in the middle. Actually, I take it back. There is art throughout this book as well. And even cooler, for Six of Crows, Litjoy had the author Leigh Bardugo write annotations on like her thought process throughout writing the book. So if you read this copy, you can see like her thoughts that she's written in the margins while you read, which is really cool. I'm trying to be careful because I don't want anything to get bent, but yeah, Really pretty. Basically, it just has art and annotations on the inside. I don't think it's signed, but let me check. No, it's not signed on the inside, but really stunning, and it's really heavy, so very high quality book. And then next we have Crooked Kingdom, which is also very shiny. This one's really thick. You've got the wolf on the front with the heart in the middle, which, if you know of Nina and Matthias, yeah. Another reason that I would say Six of Crows is my favorite is that Crooked Kingdom, the second book, was very sad. So that's not the only reason. I do think the first book was just better paced, but the second book did take my heart and stomp on it 1,000 times. So and here's the sprayed pages for this one. I believe it's Nina on the front this time. And you have the crows get her down beneath. So this is what the back looks like. No mourners, no funerals. And you have a skull, a tied piece of parchment. Really pretty. So this is what the naked cover looks like. It's got a skull, a heart, and a raven, or I keep wanting to say raven, a crow, obviously. Pages again, and here's the back. And the end paper art. So here are two of the characters. And here they are again, meeting all together. And again, I won't show you the art in this one because I don't want to spoil anything, but this one is not annotated. It's just the first book, which honestly is what my preference would have been anyways. Okay, so that was all the Six of Crows books I had downstairs, and so we're going to move on to Ninth House. So these are the Illumicrate editions of Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Ninth House is Leigh Bardugo's adult fantasy debut, I believe. Actually, I don't think it can be quite counted as fantasy. It's mostly set in modern times, but there's sort of a necromancy edge to it. Basically, we follow a girl named Alex who lives in California. She's not wealthy, she's barely hanging on financially and emotionally. But she gets an offer to attend Yale University due to a particular set of gifts that she has. So Alex can see ghosts. And this has caused a lot of trauma in her life. I won't go into it, but there are a lot of trigger warnings in this book, so just go into that forewarned. I would look them up maybe before you start. But yeah, so she gets offered to go to Yale to sort of look after the private sort of elite clubs on campus. So Leigh Bardugo, the author, went to Yale, and I think she was a part of some very secret clubs at Yale, and a lot of them do kind of dark things. I'm not sure how much of it was, real and how much was not, which is honestly kind of the fun. But it's a lot of like dead bodies, chants, and magic attempts. And basically Alex is sort of brought there to sort of keep all of the secret societies in line. And so when she gets there, she meets a lot of people, and trouble soon finds her. I will say part of the fun of this one is just seeing Yale through Alex's eyes. She's just like a normal person, and she's seen a lot of shit, so to speak. And so to be around all these like wealthy, privileged people, just sort of like a fish out of water, was very entertaining and fun. And I did end up really enjoying Ninth House. I like this a lot. I think I gave it 4 stars. The pacing, I would say, was a bit off in the first one, but I was so busy having fun exploring the world that I didn't care that much. But yeah, a lot of trigger warnings, dark academia, basically. And I really liked it. So again, these are the Illumicrate editions. They have dark black sprayed pages, which goes really well. I actually really like the romantic aspect in this series. I feel like it's done really well, very slow. Like you're not given a lot, which I appreciate. So here is the artwork for these editions. First off, I'll show you the front, actually. So it has this like bony snake, skeleton snake, I guess you might call it, on the front with flowers. I think is really creepy and cool. On here it says Mors Vincent Omnia, which is Latin for death conquers all. It tells you that in the story, but also I will say I did take 4 years of Latin, so those 4 years at least let me know what this means. At least I can translate 3 words. Yeah, and it's just black on the back. And then, so here is the art on the inside that I was going to show you. Just have Alex here. She's very like tough because she's seen a lot. So she's not at all baffled by these, or intimidated by these Yale students. I think it's the same on the back. Yeah. So anyways, this is the Illumicrate edition. Interestingly enough, this is actually not the first Illumicrate edition that they did. They also, they first off did a different sort of look. Not very different, but they had an edition for Ninth House. And then before the sequel came out, they like revamped it and came out with this set. So I do have another Illumicrate edition of Ninth House that does not have a missing sequel because they didn't do the sequel in that style. So I will show you that eventually. But these are the completed Illumicrate set that they did. So this is Ninth House. And then here is the sequel, which is called Hellbent. It has this dark rabbit on the front with pomegranates, which actually goes a lot with the story of this book. If you are aware of like symbols from Greek mythology, you know that pomegranates are often associated with Persephone, the queen of the underworld. So to say those vibes are very much present here. And I will say Hellbent is actually my favorite of the two so far. I believe this is supposed to be a trilogy. Originally it was supposed to be longer, but I think now it's set to be a trilogy. Correct me if I have that wrong. but I loved Hellbent. I feel like, again, Hellbent was either a win or a lose with some people. Either they really didn't like it as much as Ninth House, or they really loved it. And again, I was fortunate enough to be in that latter category. I loved Hellbent so much. I thought the pacing was better from the first one. I was never bored, it never dragged. So good. I loved this book. So yeah, I'm just so excited for the next one. I will say the wait from book 1 to book 2 was forever. It was years. So I've kind of like gotten ready. What am I trying to say? Armored myself to like prepare for a long wait for the 3rd book. So yeah. And then here is the inside. This is Darlington, who, one of my favorite Leigh Bardugo love interests. Honestly, Leigh Bardugo has not really steered me wrong that much in terms of love interests, so, but I love him. He's precious. Lastly, I'll just show you the cover. So this is the skeletal rabbit. Yeah, so snake imagery is really big with the first book, and then rabbit energy is really big with the sequel. And then this Latin says Mors Irumat Omnia, and this one I'm not sure I can say on YouTube, but it's basically death, F word, us all. That's another sort of tagline of this series. And again, black sprayed pages, so just show you one last time. Darlington must be protected at all costs. Fun fact, I think Stephen King actually blurbed Ninth House, the first book, and said he really liked it, so high praise, you know. So anyways, yeah, those are my Illumicrate editions of Ninth House and Hellbent. And then next, we're back here. I'll speed through this one a little faster just because I've been talking about it for like 3 videos already, but this is my Waterstones edition of The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Again, this is her most recent book. It's an historical fantasy set in Spain. Very creepy, very Halloween appropriate. Absolutely loved it. My second favorite Leigh Bardugo book besides behind Six of Crows, I should say. Absolutely loved it. Couldn't recommend it more. So yeah, this is the Waterstones edition. And then the other edition I have to show is the Illumicrate edition, which looks like sort of an old book. It says The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. The plant imagery is actually really important from the book. And then on the cover it says, oh no, I will probably mispronounce this, but it says Abotar Kazal, Abotar Mazal. And those are just some of the sort of magical words that our main protagonist, Lucia, says. This definitely feels like a sort of cloth-bound book. It's really pretty. It did not come with a dust jacket, so it just has these gilded sprayed pages, which I think matches quite well. And the back says, "A change of scene, a change of fortune," which actually might be what those words on the front mean. I'm not quite certain. Oh, the oranges. The oranges are very important in the story as well. So yeah, I don't think this one has art or anything. Actually, it did come with an art card. I did not see this. So yeah, here are two of our main characters, Lucia and a certain mentor figure who I will not name. Yeah, no art on the inside, but it did come with that art piece, which is quite lovely. So yeah, this is the Illumicrate edition, I believe. And I think those are the only copies I have of the Familiar. I did order the Fairy Loot edition, and will be getting that, I think, sometime before the end of the year. But yeah, I will have one more edition of this coming, sadly. But yeah, I really loved it. Second favorite Leigh Bardugo book of all time, so I'm not that sorry. Okay, so switching gears real quick, we're gonna go on to my most prized editions of Six of Crows. These were the copies that I got from the signing. Yeah, so this is the first copy I got. I got it at the launch party for Six of Crows. It is one of my most prized possessions. I keep it on this special little shelf that I think hopefully you've seen a clip of. It of course has the black sprayed pages, the back. It's a first edition, of course. And I love this book. This is the book I I first read the story from. Sorry, I can't talk. And I got it signed, and it's personalized. I'm just covering my name. On this side it says, "The heart is an arrow," which is a quote from the book that I love a lot. And then she signed it. So yeah, this is a very special edition to me, and I love it dearly. Brings back really good memories. And then this is the sequel, Crooked Kingdom. Obviously, I didn't get this book till it came out in 2016. But I did meet Leigh Bardugo at a signing after that. I think it was a book festival. So I believe I got this signed. Let me check. I could be wrong. Nope. So yeah, it says, "No mourners, no funeral," the NM. And then you have her signature. She wrote my name at the top. Yeah. The red sprayed pages. So yeah, these are on display on their own shelf because they are very dear to me. So and then the only other thing I have, well, only other book I have on that shelf is actually an ARC that I traded for. I used to be big on the online ARC trading community on Twitter. It might be a thing still, I'm not sure, but it was big back in like 2014, 2014 through like well, I'm just speaking for myself. I was on it from like 2014, 2015 to like maybe 2018, 2017. I'm no longer really active on there, but I attended a lot of book festivals. I entered Goodreads giveaways, which back then were a lot easier to win. And I also had a blog back then, participated in a couple like author tours, which was fun. But yeah, I would just trade arcs for arcs on Twitter or special editions. And so I traded for this forever ago. And yeah, it's an advanced reader copy of Six of Crows. So basically it's a review copy that bloggers, back when blogging was bigger, and like reviewers, I guess now it'd be TikTokers and stuff like that, would get to read books early and post reviews and like kind of build hype for the book. So yeah, this is another one of my very cherished possessions. I spent a long time, starting like 2015, trying to collect and trade for all the arcs of my favorite books, and I wasn't completely successful, but I've been pretty successful. So yeah, one of my very prized possessions. And then the only other things I have on that shelf are some like merch that I'll show you. So this came in, I think, a book box that I got forever ago. No, actually, I think this was the pre-order gift. I take it back. This was like the pre-order gift for Crooked Kingdom. So if you pre-ordered the book, you got like, I think, a signed book plate and like this dice. So this has all the characters' names on it. You've got, let me see if I can, you got Inej. It's not helping. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it says Inej, and then you've got Jesper, Nina. The bomb is obviously for Wylan, and then Kaz with the crow, Matthias with the wolf, and I feel like I'm missing someone. I said Jesper, right? Yeah, that might be it. So yeah. And there's just two of them, so what I do is I have one for Inej and one for Kaz, and I just put them next to each other because they're my favorite couple from the series. I mean, I love all of them, but Kaz and Inej are very special to me, so yeah. I just put them in front of the books, sort of like a prop. And then the other thing I have is this. This is a pin, like an enamel pin that I got from a different book box. I don't remember when, but it says the heart is an arrow on it. And I just really love the design, and Inej is one of my very favorite characters, so I just prop this up against the books as well and kind of leave it there. And then lastly, well, actually not lastly, but I went to, I think it was the book fair where I got Crooked Kingdom signed and met Leigh Bardugo. She was giving out, like, you could take one card, like a playing card. These were sort of like merch for the event. I think she was on tour, and at her stop she would let you take one. And I remember being, yeah, Crooked Kingdom. I remember really hoping I would get Inej, because you just drew one, and I think that was it. It's not like you could like sort through them all. And I drew it, and I got Inej's, which is the queen card, obviously. And I love this art of her. Like, this is how I picture Inej. And yeah, I was so excited that I got Inej. It was meant to be. It was like a God-given moment, so I was very happy. But yeah, so I also just propped this up against the book because it's Inej. She's my favorite. And yeah, so that is what I have on my little display shelf for that series. Oh, and lastly, I forgot, at the event, we were given like temporary tattoos of the Crow Club tattoo. This is what it looks like. And so I snagged an extra, like you could do it yourself. You know, you grabbed one and did it yourself. And I had the foresight to be like, I might want an extra and keep it. So hopefully I didn't steal from someone else. I don't think I did, but I did snag myself one for display later because for a while I wanted to keep it as like a tattoo. I'm a little scared of needles, but like I was just so excited to get this, and so yeah, I do keep this on the shelf as well and just kind of prop it up and be like, it's the Grow Club symbol. So yeah, and that is all I have for my little, just, you can't see it, but it's like right above my Raven Cycle shelf, for my little Six of Crows shelf. And then moving on, let's go to the rest of the books. I'm so sorry if this video is forever and a day long. I forgot how many Leigh Bardugo books I had, and it's only going to get worse, so. Okay, so luckily this last bit is going to be a bit of a speed run because this video is just so long and I don't want to go on and on. So the first book I will show you is, these are from my Leigh Bardugo shelf, which I will insert a clip of if you haven't already seen it. But I'll show you first my Grisha trilogy collection. So that is the original debut trilogy from Leigh Bardugo. It's not my favorite, so I don't have a ton of books from that series, but I do have some. So the first one I have is this collector's edition of Shadow and Bone. This is the slipcase. And this is actually, not only is this the collector's edition, but it's the Illumicrate edition of the collector's edition. It's so, because things get so complicated with book boxes sometimes. But yeah. I believe you can get this anywhere, but just not this version. So here's what the inside looks like. It says the collector's edition at the bottom. Yeah, so that's just the slipcase. And then the actual book is black, and it has the eclipse coming. So I believe the regular collector's edition looks like this, except for it's blue. I think it's like a dark blue. I could be wrong. So yeah, it's a very smooth book. It's very, like, the pages are nice. So yeah, this is just the first book. It's a really nice quality in paper, and then you've got the stag, which is important in this series. It's got some art. I guess this one was also personalized because it has my name at the top, and then the signature from Leigh at the bottom. Oh, I think I probably brought this to get signed from her. That makes sense. I don't think there's art on the inside, but let me look. No, it just has like this little bit of chapter header art, and like it has this bordering around the pages to make it look nice. So I think that's it. Oh, it does have these, like, I think it's like a bonus letter at the end, so that's nice. But yeah, nothing too special about this one. It's just a pretty book, and I had to get it. Lord knows, I don't know if I would get it now, but I got it then when it came out. So yeah, it's the collector's edition of Shadow and Bone, the first book in that trilogy. And the next book I have is actually another hard one book. I actually got this at, where did I find this? I think it was actually a library sale. You're not supposed to sell review copies, but maybe it was just old or something. I don't know. It was in like a used book library sale that my local library put on. And this is the actually ARC edition of Shadow and Bone. Yeah, when I found it, it had like this giant crease in it. So I don't know if what happened there, but and I actually really love this cover. So this is again a review copy, an ARC copy of Shadow and Bone, the first book in the Grisha trilogy. Really pretty. I think this was, how old is this? Well, it says June 19th, 2012, which is maybe when the book came out. Anyways, I'm obsessed with this cover. I love it so much. And I think I got her to sign it. Yeah. I think I brought it with me again to the signing for Crooked Kingdom and got her to sign it. So I'm very lucky to have this because I don't think many of these were made. But I just love this cover so much. I'm very careful with it because it's old. But yeah, this is part of my Grisha trilogy collection. And then next we just have the original trilogy. So this is the first book, Shadow and Bone. These covers are discontinued. They did it like 5 years ago, I think. They changed the covers. Maybe longer. Is it 6 years? I don't know, time is just passing by now. But a while ago they changed the covers and I was not a fan. Like, I think the current covers are now like this very like stark blue, and like the second book is like a teal color, and I don't know, I just don't like them as much. These look very like classic sort of Russian fantasy, which is what it's supposed to be. So like, I just think these covers work better for the story, and I really like the neutral colors. So these were, yeah, my original trilogy copies. And I just really love them. I think they're really pretty. So that's the first book. And here is the second book, Siege and Storm, which is actually my favorite of the trilogy. If you've read this series, I love Nikolai, the character who mainly features in this book, which is why it's my favorite. Nikolai, and I do like the Darkling as well. But yeah, this is the second book. Obviously, I love the cover, really pretty. It goes well with the first one. And I actually have 2 editions of the last and final book, the third book. So Barnes & Noble, this was really before Barnes & Noble did a lot of like exclusive editions. When was this book published? Hold on. 2014. So they were doing some special editions, but like not a ton, not like they are now. The special edition boom had not occurred yet. But they had this exclusive collector's edition of Ruin and Rising. And I think the exclusiveness is that there is a bonus short story about the Darkling at the back. And also the font on the cover, or the typeface, I guess, whatever it's called, is gold instead of silver. So for contrast, here is the regular edition, and then this is the collector's edition. So nothing like mind-boggling, but this is technically the exclusive third book edition. So there's that one, and then this again is just the regular third book. I wasn't a huge fan of this third book. It made me sad. There's a part of it that I was not okay with, but If you've read it, you know why. But I did like it enough to, at least at the time, get these editions. So yeah, that is my Shadow and Bone collector's edition haul, I guess. Or that's my Shadow and Bone collection. Hi. So there's gonna be a little skip between the last clip and now, just because my voice needed to rest. And I did take a quick shower, so if you see something's different, that's why. But let's continue on. So the next books I have to show you are the Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom collector's editions. So here it is. So these are available still today. They are very pretty. They're have red foiling and are embossed. I can never remember if it's embossed or debossed. I think embossed is when it's raised and debossed is when it's like the opposite. But yeah, so this is the cover of the collector's edition. It's really, really pretty. It has these red sprayed pages that go really well with the cover. So again, like most of the special editions for this duology, it has a lot of the symbols from the book. It's also a naked hardcover, so there's no dust jacket that comes with it. It's red sprayed pages, and on the back it says, of course, no mourners, no funerals, with the crow. But my favorite part of the collector's editions are actually not only the map, which is red and really cool, but I'm trying to see if I got this signed. I met Leigh Bardugo, I think 3 times in total, and I can never remember what I got signed and whatnot. I don't think I got this one signed. But if you look at the back, there's actually the original character art that was at the launch party for the characters. They have a like sort of art card for each character. So you have, let's see if I can go through all of them. So first it just says, no mourners, no funerals. And then my 2 faves, you have Kaz and Inej. In case you were curious, I did watch the Netflix adaptation of Six of Crows. Well, it wasn't of Six of Crows, it was of the Grisha trilogy and parts of Six of Crows. And I thought they could not have done better with the casting, especially for Kaz and Inej. I thought the actors played them perfectly. But I will say, I still picture the characters like this. Like, this is the art that I have in my mind when I read the series. So yeah, there's Kaz and Inej. And you have Nina and Matthias. And then Jesper and Wylin. And also Kuei, if you flip this over. And I think that's it. Yeah, so that's sort of the special aspects of this collector's edition. So yeah, really pretty. You can still get this, and it's a really cool collector's piece. So, and then of course they did one for Crooked Kingdom. And this one has black sprayed pages. I do think it would have looked better if it had like gold sprayed pages, but it's just my opinion, and it's still pretty, so. And the back says, again, when you can't beat the odds, change the game. In terms of the Netflix adaptation, I'm very sad that we didn't get like a separate Six of Crows adaptation with those actors, because I think it would have been so good. It would have been so good, and I don't think we'll ever get that opportunity again, so I took a while to mourn that. And the special aspect of this book is arguably even cooler than the last one. And it has the star signs of the different characters. So this just says the same sort of phrase, when you can't beat the odds, change the game. And it says a zodiac character art. So I will show you that if you are interested. If I can get it. Okay. So here is Kaz and Inej. You'll have to forgive me because I'm not totally sure about the different star signs. I know I'm a Scorpio, and I'd probably recognize that if I saw it. But for now, I'll just show you the art. If you want to know it, it's in the corner, is the sign. I really love this art. I think it fits the characters really well. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think if you can see that, that's Scorpio, maybe? I'm sure some of you know, and you can yell at me in the comments if I'm wrong. And then lastly, we have Kue, who I love Kue. Love. Pretty sure that's a Virgo sign. Looks like a V. But yeah. So that is the Crooked Kingdom edition. And I think that is officially all of my Six of Crows editions. So I know, kind of a lot, but moving on. Now we are getting to my King of Scars duology. So this is a duology that follows the Grisha trilogy. It might actually also follow Six of Crows. I'm a little unsure about the timeline. But this follows Nikolai, who is a key player in the Grisha trilogy. And yeah, so this follows him as well as a few of the other characters. So I have the signed, or not signed, exclusive Barnes & Noble edition. It had a fold-out poster and an annotated chapter. And I think I got this signed. Yeah, so I actually got this personalized. I'll cover my name, but must have had this when I met her. And actually, if you can see, I have tabs here, so I think I read this back in 2022. I put it off for a while because I wasn't sure if I was interested, but I eventually got to it, and I'm glad I did. But as far as annotations go, I don't really annotate, but I use these like book darts. So let me show you. I use these like metallic book darts to like mark a place that I want to look back at, like if I ever pick the book up again. I don't really write in my books either. I think I've said this before, but I kind of just play this game where like I mark it and then it's up to me to remember why I marked that area. So like I'll go back, read it, and be like, wonder why I kept this, and usually I'll remember. So, and if I don't, then it's kind of like a game to to like try to rediscover what was so important about that sentence or paragraph. So anyways, quick side tangent. It's interesting, this cover is very like sticky almost. Not a huge fan, but I think one of the reasons I got this book also is it also has a really pretty cover underneath. And then we have the second book, which is called Rule of Wolves. Sorry if my voice is giving. And yeah, this is a signed edition. These actually look really good together. I love like the gold and silver contrast. It's interesting. Well, this one sort of, like I said, has a sticky cover. This one feels a little more matte. I think if I had to pick a favorite, I would say this one. I just love this cover. It's really pretty. So yeah, this is just the Barnes & Noble signed edition. It has these pretty end papers. And then yeah, this one is just signed. So I must have met Leigh Bardugo in between when King of Scars was released and Rule of Wolves. And I didn't annotate this one, so maybe I had more to say in the first book. But yeah, I guess I'll quickly show you the naked cover looks like. So it's this really pretty like burgundy or like maroon color. So aside from those editions, I do have one other set of those books, and it's the Illumicrate editions. So they're actually a different height as well. I think they're smaller. So yeah, the taller is the US editions, and then this is the Illumicrate UK editions. And actually this cover feels nicer than the other one. It feels less sticky. Let's see. I think the only special thing about the Illumicrate editions is the naked cover. So this one is completely gold. This was sort of before sprayed pages were as like popular and commonplace. So, and it just has a quote on the spine, which I love a good spine quote. It says, "The monster is me, and I am the monster." Poor Nikolai, he really goes through it. And then lastly for here is the Rule of Wolves, the Illumicrate edition. And this one actually does have sprayed red pages. So probably by the time this book came out, they were more, you know, on their sprayed edge game. And this one also has a pretty cover. It's white with red foiling. I've seen some people put the naked covers of the Illumicrate editions next to the naked Barnes & Noble editions, and they look really good together, but I'm just one of those people who, like, cannot take the dust jacket off their books and, like, leave it off. I don't even read with the dust jacket off. Like, to me, it's, like, part of the book. And this spine quote says, "We're all monsters now." So yeah, this isn't my favorite, like, series or duology within Leigh Bardugo's books, but I did enjoy it. I'm glad I read it. Let me see when this book came out, actually. 2021? Yeah. 2021. It's actually later than I thought it was. That is the only copies I have of this duology. Just these and the Barnes & Noble editions. I swear we are in the home stretch. This video is probably a day and a half long, but we are in the home stretch now, I promise. So the next books are my ninth house, the rest of my ninth house books. So to start off, the first thing I have is the Arc of Ninth House. Again, this is another arc that I traded for back in, when did this book even come out? It's been so long. 2019, yeah. This was like the tail end. This might be like the last arc I actually traded for. And yeah, so it's a big arc. Oh, and I was in the middle of reading it. I think I was reading it and then the book came out and then I just like switched over to the hard copy, if I remember correctly. But yeah, so this is the advanced copy. And then I will start off with the Barnes & Noble editions that I collected. So first off is the Barnes & Noble edition of Ninth House. Let's see, it just says exclusive edition. I'm not exactly sure. I think it might have had a chapter at the end. Let's see. Oh, here's the Stephen King quote on the back. He said, "Ninth House is the best fantasy novel I've read in years because it's about real people. Bardugo's imaginative reach is brilliant, and this story, full of shocks and twists, is impossible to put down." High praise from Stephen King. I really like the cover of this book. It's very smooth. Exclusiveness is I think it's an annotated chapter. Yeah, it's an annotated chapter at the end, and also the in pages have the stake on it. So I don't think there's anything on the naked cover. I will check. No. So yeah, this is the Barnes & Noble edition. think this is the edition that I read, actually. And then here is the sequel, Hellbent. I love this red cover. It's the Barnes & Noble exclusive, and I think the exclusive part of this one is the red cover. It's normally, I think it's gray. Again, like I said earlier, this is my favorite of the two books so far. Absolutely loved it. So yeah, these are just the Barnes & Noble editions. And then next, so this is where I showed you the Illumicrate editions earlier, but before Illumicrate released those editions, it first released this. So this was technically the first Illumicrate edition of Ninth House. I think they released this duology again when they had more customizations available, like sprayed pages and all of that. I think that's why they did it. Joe Hill also, I think it's like a horror author, blurbed this book, so that's also high praise. I'm trying to remember what is special about this book. It did come with a letter from Leigh Bardugo, so that's always nice. This was like the naked hardcover. This is sort of like the King of Scars duology. They did like a similar thing where the customization was just the naked cover. So it has a symbol compass, I think, on the front. And then it has like snake skin design on this spine. And there's a quote. And the quote says, "Leave the dead to the dead. Turn your eyes to the living." The cover is a very interesting texture. It's very like almost rough feeling. So now the only editions I have left are the Waterstones editions. So this is the Waterstones edition of Ninth House. It is signed with bonus content, and also, as you can see, the cover has been reversed, or not reversed, but it's color change. So instead of red, it's blue. So it again has these snake in papers and is signed. And actually the bonus content is actually the same annotated chapter because, like I said earlier, Waterstones and Barnes & Noble eventually got owned by the same company. So I don't really speak business-ese, so if I said that wrong, I'm sorry. And then last but not least, I believe this is the Waterstones edition of Hellbent. I love this cover so much. I love the creepy rabbit. I like how it like goes on top of the letters here and through the letters. And it also has stenciled edges. So it has the snakes and the compass. You can really tell with the series when stenciled edges took off. It was in between Ninth House and Hellbent. So in between 2019 and 2021, I believe. And this book also has this beautiful in-paper art. Let me see if I can show you. Oh, and it has red snakeskin spine. It has the author and the title on it. The compass again. And let me show you. I love this in-paper art so much. You have the snake from the first book, and now the rabbit. I think this is the same. Yeah. Oh no, you have the back end. So there's the tail of the bunny and the snake. Love, love, love this in-paper art. This is probably my favorite edition of Hellbent. Okay, those were all of the main books. Congratulations on making it this far. The only thing I do have left is some like side books and candles, like merch kind of things that I keep on my bookshelf. So real quick, this was a pre-order benefit. I believe it's a Grisha map. So I just keep this in the bookshelf. Oh no, it's art. It's a poster. So this is for, I think, Rule of Wolves, the second book in the King of Scars duology. I just love the art. It's so pretty. And it says, "You are strong enough to survive the fall." So I'd love to hang that up sometime, but I honestly just don't have room. And the next is a sampler I got at a book event. So this is just a small little sampler of one of her short stories collections set in her Grishaverse. It's called The Language of Thorns. And this is just like a merch item because I actually own this full thing, but this was released like at a book festival. And then this is the map that I got of the Grisha world. So this was also in a book, I think like a special edition book. Again, I would hang it up, but I just don't have space on my walls. Here is The Language of Thorns. This is the full book. See, it's not very long. It's full of like fairy tales set in the world of the Grishaverse. Like original fairy tales that Leigh Bardugo wrote herself. It's really pretty. Like the bordering is really pretty. And I have read this. It was good. Like I feel like if you are going on vacation and you just need like a quick read, this is really good. They're set in like different parts of the world. I don't think and this is just like a regular edition. I do think Illumicrate or some book box did like a special edition where the bronzy gold is red, but I didn't like the look of it, so I was like, I'm just gonna get the regular old edition for this one. So. Yeah, it says Midnight Tales and Dangerous Magic. And then the very last book resembling item is this. This is actually a special edition of this book. It has cover art. This is Alina from the Grisha trilogy. She's the main character. There, of course, this is the Darkling. And oh, what is this again? I don't even remember. It's been so long. I did read it. I just can't. Oh, The Lives of Saints. That's what it's called. The Lives of Saints. And this is just a really pretty book. Let's see. This is a signed edition. And it has art throughout. I think it's just talking about the different saints in the world. Not our world, obviously, but the Grishaverse. Has very like classical style art as well. Saints from different parts of the world. You can see that art. Yeah. So I did read this. I liked it. I probably wouldn't reread it, but as far as a collector goes, I was like, well, I'll get this. And then I have two things left. Well, two categories. I just have the mugs and the candles. I am not really a mug person. I'm more of a candle person, even though I don't burn them. But the mug I just keep on my bookshelf. And it says, it's a quote from Six of Crows from Nina, and it says, "One could plot violent espionage and still hope for dessert." And it has waffles on it because Nina famously loves waffles. I probably won't linger too long on the like cup items for tapping because I'm not a huge fan of the sound. This cup actually broke and I super glued it, and so it doesn't look very aesthetic, but you know, it gets the job done. This says Best Coffee in Ravka, which is where the Grisha trilogy is set. I am not really a tea drinker or a coffee drinker. I like sweet drinks with coffee in them, like frappuccinos and stuff like that, but so I don't really use mugs very often. I'm not really a warm drink kind of person, but yeah. I just keep some knickknacks in here. This was actually from the launch party. You can see my very terrible stamps of what are supposed to be the different characters' symbols. We did this at the launch party, so I just kind of keep it in here because my artistic skills are dismal. And lastly, the candles. I love the candles. This is my Darkling. It's called the Darkling candle. And these are mostly from Alchemy and Ink. I don't buy from them anymore just because I've stopped buying candles because I don't really use them. But for a while I was on a kick, and so I have there the Darkling candle. It says Night, Winter, Wind, and Forest. You know, I haven't opened this in so long. This is what it looks like. It's like a dark midnight blue. Actually smells really good. These are nice candles too. Yeah, so there's my Darkling candle. On a similar note, for the King of Scars duology, I have this candle called the Starless One, which is a mysterious figure from that duology that you may have met before. Yeah. So it says the Starless One, bergamot, wood, and smooth musk. Whatever that is. But this is what it looks like. It's like a white, looks kind of bluish on candle. I mean, on camera, but it's white in person. This one's really nice. It's like a refreshing, sweet, like not too sweet, more like refreshing, like a nice cologne. This is what it looks like. And the other two I have, this is just a candle that's called Ravkin Myths. This came in a book box, I think. And this one is like a layered candle. I don't love the look of it. It looks a little beachy to me, but who was I to pass up a candle? If I can open this, oh my gosh. Oh my god. That is such That is such a powerful scent. It actually smells like a smell you would enjoy on the beach. Interesting. You know, I should maybe try to burn this one because I think it's been sitting too long. And the last candle I have is a 9th house candle, and it's the one that says Mors Irumat Omnia, which is death as all. Hopefully the YouTube algorithm does not read lips, but yeah, this is for 9th house. I don't know what aroma it is. It says Atonka, spiced amber, and tobacco. Which seems appropriate. I know some people like lid sounds. Oh, this one definitely smells like a spiced, musky smell. I don't know how to describe it. Whew, it's definitely spiced. Tobacco. Yeah, you can smell the tobacco for sure. Actually, it wasn't for the ASMR. Just making sure it's on. And that is actually it. We are finally done with all of my Leigh Bardugo books. I have no idea how long this video is. I'm so sorry. If you watched it in parts, I totally understand. If you dropped off at some point, I hope you are relaxed or are sleeping. And if you stuck all the way through, you're insane, but I'm very grateful. But I hope you enjoyed. If you have any other questions, or if you want to do like a collection video on a different author at some point, let me know. I will say this took a while to put together, but hopefully it was worth it, and I hope some of you enjoyed it. But thank you for watching. Without further ado, I hope you have a good one, and I will see you next time.